All right, we're gonna have an episode today about the strange people that work with us in this field that we work in.
Starting with this.
Starting with this, I would assume. So, all right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the foibles of all of these personality traits that exist in here. Now, isn't there a saying that you say about welders? Like, what
welders? No. The funny part about welders is every welder is severely mentally unstable. And
Tom Zolka wasn't.
But okay, we knew one welder but he was a drunk, but he was a good drunk. It's fine.
Oh, there's a difference.
And he was a family guy, and he was an older guy.
Yeah.
So that's a little different. I think the problem, the reason why we're bringing this up is in our line of work, it's very, very difficult to find halfway decent people, and the ones we do seem to come across have issues, to say the least.
Yeah.
And if you want to start talking about a few examples, I know my father had a guy who, was he a welder? Was Jake a welder?
Jake?
Yes, Jake was a welder. Okay, so that's a perfect example.
Oh.
He had a hatchback, like a Datsun or a Nissan. What did he have?
No, it was an AMC. I believe it was called a Pacer.
Okay, but it was like a hatchback.
But it was like way ahead of time with these wraparound curved
windows.
Right.
And everything.
Right, that's right. But it was a hatchback type of thing.
I would guess so. And he had a long 4x4 with a notch cut in it, and a shorter 4x4 with a notch. And I don't know if he had an apartment, or I just used to catch him sleeping in front of the building all the time. The two notches fit together, and it formed a cross.
Jesus.
And here he would be, lying on the cross, sleeping.
Well, he
with
also,
his arms out.
But if you remember, Jake also spoke in the third person.
Third person.
So he basically crucified himself every night.
No nails.
No nails.
I said, Jake, can you come over here for a minute, please? He says, Jake is busy right now.
That is just creepy.
Really weird shit.
But why did he talk to himself in the third person? What was that?
Some people just, I don't
Why
know.
do some people vote for Donald Trump?
Okay. So,
well, that's different, though.
So that's
why is it different?
Okay. So
if you're that fucked up that you can't
we'll get to politics. We'll get to politics in a little bit. Who else? Well, if you remember, your employees of the wild heavy metal hair band type in the 80s. Lots of cocaine and.
Oh yeah.
Why would you hire them if you knew they were problematic?
They were actually his best employees.
Oh well, I could see because they need the cocaine.
They started stealing.
Well, they need their cocaine. They're good until they really are.
That just timed out. Is that off? Or is it? Okay.
Oh, it'll keep going. I forgot to bring them out.
Well, your two, Danny and Mike, and one of them was caught numerous times. Instead of being at work, he was at the Peep Show on Federal Highway.
Oh, was he the one that?
Danny.
Right.
Was he the one that like had his directions were always like?
No, that you're talking about the truck driver. The truck driver, you tell him, you give him an address. And he'd say, "Oh yeah, 2 blocks away from the Spearmint Rhino." He used every strip club in South Florida as his marquee too.
But he also had those obscure ones like the Porthole.
Do you know that Danny? What was Cheryl? That was Sid.
Sid Vicious?
No.
We had an accountant whose name was Sid Levine.
Oh.
And his daughter, her name was Cheryl. And she comes into the office, from her office, and says, "We have $900 worth of phone calls." I said, "What are you talking about?" There's $900 worth of 900 calls.
900 number.
A 900 number
like
is...
collect.
Not collect. You dial 1-900 blah 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 and get a phone sex.
You got charged for it.
Phone sex, yes. It's a business. They try to make money.
Okay.
So he had an employee that was regularly using the company phone line to pleasure himself in the office.
Working is his pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't remember this guy. You never told me about
No,
that.
this was a guy. He was an Indian guy, not India like
Yes, but native.
Yeah, native. And that's actually something we were going to talk about. Okay, we'll get to that later. The native thing.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
This guy had naked lady tattoos on his forearms. Remember?
Danny.
Yeah, Danny. And he was about 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot.
Really?
And never saw anybody lift anything like this guy.
He was just a brick.
He was
Each one of his legs were twice the size of mine.
so like the size of your torso.
Really? So he had like legs like what's that running back?
Tree trunk. Oh, he had like Barry Sanders legs.
No, not Barry Sanders. Oilers.
Oh, Earl Campbell?
Earl Campbell. He had Earl Campbell legs?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That at least lets you know what you're talking about.
But he was square. He looked like Christian Okoye, but without the shoulder pads.
But Zelensky once told me that Danny would be on 900 call and be whacking off underneath the
Well, that's the point of calling a 900 call. You don't call and talk about today's events. So, who else did we have? We had, well, you can't use their real names.
What was it that he used to call him? That I was like, who the heck is that person? I don't know who that is. Jay's other name?
Jay's other name? Oh, Josh.
Josh!
That was the alter ego.
The alter ego.
Josh, yes. But Josh, which time? Because he had 3 terms
of being Josh.
Of being Josh here. Josh was we actually discussed Josh. Josh was the one that he went home with about $500 a week.
Yeah, we did.
And he would end up on the 4th week, he'd have $500 left from that paycheck and have to pay an $800 rent. Couldn't figure out why he couldn't make ends meet. He was also the one that, when it came...
Who are you talking about?
The welder with the alter ego.
Well, he doesn't know the alter ego.
The one with the financial problems.
You guys got him in the park? Yes.
So, but he would also, if you remember, he had a scooter, and he would tell us that he didn't have enough money for gas, which it takes, $1 to fill up a tank? $1.50?
Not even that.
Not even. Whatever. But he'd be standing there with an Arizona iced tea and a pack of smokes.
He really disappointed me as a person. He really did.
He is a failure on so many levels.
There's nothing I can say.
But he didn't have the same type of mental problems other than that.
Well, depends on what you would consider.
Well, he would a lot. He always thought.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, he thought he was a lot smarter than he was.
But he was incapable of talking to anyone without getting into an altercation.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Is that you depends on what you consider to be a mental.
Well, because
issue.
he had low self-esteem. He was overweight. He had low self-esteem. So he would try to make himself seem smarter than he actually was.
He invented words that I've never heard before.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. We got into an argument, and he said it was that same day that I actually lost a lot of respect for him because we were talking about something, and then we were talking about food stamps, and I was like, "But you're on food stamps
with a full-time job." And the only reason why he conjured up this that his girlfriend had was disabled, and that's why she couldn't work, was because he knew that if she met anybody else with a job and a car, he would lose her.
But when she was like a dominatrix, and he used to be like, "Well, she never slept with him." There
were many times that he would wake up in the middle of the night,
and she'd be gone
next door at another guy's house.
I was like, "Come on, you!"
But the greatest was when he decided that the guys were outside. They were talking about about snipers, and he started bringing up that trigonometry
Yeah,
had something to do with it, which
I remember that argument quite well.
it was kind of.
It didn't start out amusing. I was not amused by that argument.
He also,
I hated it.
Did he once say that that race car drivers weren't athletes?
No, I said that.
Well, I think
Race car drivers.
How can a race car
Kayvon thinks
driver?
race car drivers are not athletes.
How can
And
you be a race car
completely-
driver and be an athlete?
First of all, it's probably 150 degrees in the car.
Okay.
Second of all, they're nonstop mentally and physically challenged for hours on end.
So if you were a elementary school teacher, is that an athlete?
The focus to do 200 miles per hour within inches of another vehicle is a lot more mentally challenging than
Have you
being a
taken
teacher.
care of like 10 or 25-year-olds?
25-year-olds or 25-year-olds?
25.
No. I have two children.
I am not interested in any of that. If I had the choice, I would definitely be a race car driver over being like a kindergarten teacher.
Well, because it's a lot more fun.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you that I think they're athletes.
I don't think so. Like, to be an athlete, you have to train there is no NASCAR Olympics.
There is the Daytona 500 is their Olympics.
their rendition of races
Do you
Olympics.
think a race car driver is an athlete? The hand-eye coordination is hand, foot, and eye
Okay,
coordination.
so then doesn't that make everybody in Germany athletes?
Because
The
Well, the
Autobahn? Yes.
no, makes them crazy fuckers for doing 100 miles an hour on a highway. When the problem with that is you're driving next to pretty poor drivers.
Exactly.
Actually, it may be more athletic to avoid those other.
Though. Because you, at least in racing, you go in a circle.
Well,
On the
not
Autobahn, it's
necessarily.
like shoo, 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 shoo. We've all been on the Autobahn, and I don't think there's anyone in the office that hasn't been there.
I've never been on the Autobahn.
You've never been on the Autobahn?
No,
I
I was in
Yeah.
Western Europe, and that's it. I never.
I don't know. I was on a bus.
Were you doing 100 miles an hour on a bus?
I was in like.
You want to talk about scary? Forget the Autobahn. Get on one of the buses in Jamaica.
Oh no, I'm not
or-
doing that.
or-
I've seen it.
The buses in
No.
Jamaica or
You
in the
guys know.
Dominican Republic.
No,
You guys know nothing about scary.
no, I'm not even interested. I've seen those things on side.
But I got to tell you a story. We go to Cancun, Mexico.
Okay,
This is in the 80s.
okay.
And she decides that she wants to go to Isla Mujeres, which is an island
Mm-hmm.
about 40 miles
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
20, 30, I don't know. So I find a guy with a brand new Bertram fishing boat. And if you know anything about boats, Bertram is one of the most highly thought of
Mm-hmm.
boats around, especially back then.
It's like a cigarette boat? A boat?
No, a sport.
Sport
Really?
fishing.
A Bertram is it's not the Ferrari, it's the Cadillac, let's say, of fishing.
Oh, it doesn't sound that bad then.
You know, like a Hatteras or a Viking is a little more high end, but a Bertram is a
So let me finish my story. So the guy wants $40,
To go?
$60, whatever,
To go out there.
to take us there.
Not bad.
Nothing.
Yeah.
She won't go on the boat. She wants to go on the ferry.
Oh.
So we get a taxi cab. The ferry is about an hour away, 45 minutes away. We get into this beat up fucking piece of shit with ball tires, and this guy is going 100 miles an hour.
Just sliding everywhere.
And I'm like I couldn't find a place in the car to hide. I mean, I said to him, slow down, enough already. Crazy. Fucking cars going up and down, no shocks, nothing. So now we get to the ferry place. And I'd like to choke her. Just for starters. The ferry's late. So we wait an hour and something for the ferry. So now, here comes the ferry. Everybody gets off. Everybody gets on. I'm sitting there with goats and pigs and chickens.
Duck.
That was for lunch once you got to
Yeah,
the
once you got to
island.
the island.
And the ferry is going like
2 miles an hour.
5 knots, maybe. Maybe. So then we get to Island O'Hara. And we get a hotel room. We walk into the hotel room. It's a beautiful room. There had to be 500 dead flies on the bed. They had sprayed the room to kill the flies. Well, they did, all right.
What were we talking about when?
Race car drivers.
But I don't see the
Okay, so
scary
quick
part.
vote. Race car drivers, are they athletes?
No.
We got one no. I say yes.
I would call them highly skilled technicians.
There you go. That's a no. that is a very no.
That's fine.
I'm not saying that they're not in superb
In shape.
physical.
Yeah.
I think you have to be.
No, but then
condition.
remember the bowling circuit?
Of course.
No, were those are beautifully fit athletes.
That's one of the greatest scenes in that movie Kingpin when
I
Randy
watched that.
Quaid,
I
You
have
still
to.
have to.
I still
when
have
Randy Quaid, the Amish guy in the movie, they walk into the bowling alley and you see all these overweight guys eating a big sandwich and he says something along the lines of I've never been in a room of such great athletes before.
I mean, there are just certain things I just don't.
Why don't we
Can we go on?
can we talk about this after?
It's not nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. We're in the middle of a podcast.
See, we have these conversations off podcast time. He just assumed we were just the three of us were hanging out. Okay, so we were talking about employees. Let's finish that up. We had Captain James. That was an interesting character. He was the one that
the Twitch and the.
well, the Twitch is, he had some kind of Tourette's or something like that. But
I know it wasn't Tourette's.
but he used to post things on Facebook.
Yeah, that he did that never happened.
That never happened.
Yeah.
That was great, and it was always like immediately.
Yeah.
That he was enjoying his time at this cafe while he was
while
he was pushing a wheelbarrow.
I remember he was. No, he actually went to the cafe. It was while he was working with you that he.
No, he didn't because I had a GPS.
Oh, so he was just lying all the way through. No. So he was just lying just purely through. I remember he was with me and another one of the employees, and we were drilling holes at the park. We were drilling holes, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta sit here and babysit the guys." I'm like, "But you're the lowest man on this totem pole."
Yep. Well, what happened was I have to do a thing for my license called continuing education, and one of the, aside from the videos that are the same ones from the 70s,
they should change.
Right. One of them was a thing where the guy was talking about social media, and he was saying how he'll interview somebody and sit across from them, and he's looking at their Facebook page, and he's looking at a guy who's telling him he's an outstanding citizen, and
got,
one picture he's holding up 2 bags of
cocaine,
right, cash, and he's holding up an assault rifle.
Got some blurbs out there.
So I looked this guy, Captain James, up on Facebook, and there was one time where I was driving the barge, and he is driving my truck in the same direction going down A1A, and he's posting. He's on the phone. You could see him, and he's posting that he's lounging, having a beer and some shrimp or something at
Dune
something.
Was it Dune Dog or
Not Dune Dog?
Dune Cafe?
Dune Deck.
Dune Deck.
Which I've never been to, by the way. But
I've never had an interest. They do like lunch and breakfast.
I have no idea. I've never been over there, and
we're always over there. But whatever.
We're always working.
Well, that is correct.
Who else? Then we had.
But again, we have to explain to the people why was that his real name?
Yeah. What do you think? I made up?
I thought you did. I thought
I didn't make it up. No, the reason why
what was his first name?
He was James.
Was it?
Yeah.
I will. I forgot.
But the captain part I think came because he walked up into the wheelhouse of the tugboat and took a picture of himself, which is another one he put on Facebook.
Okay,
took a picture of himself and then decided he was going to. He posted something. Look at my new baby. I have to drive this all day. And
okay, now I don't know if we should talk about that part. This part, I believe, is relevant to the story, but I don't know because I feel okay with it. I think it's funny about his roommate. I mean, now
I think that's hilarious. Also,
I think
there's
hilarious.
no reason
you can't.
He so basically he was telling me one day he had a roommate. And he said he was gay, and I said because I don't care, and I'm a very liberal guy when it comes to that type of thing. I said okay, and he tells me how the guy cleans the place up, and he cooks for him all the time. And I said, hey, that's wonderful. And he got into an argument with him one morning that was so funny, and he started yelling at the guy. This is on the phone in front of the office. He starts yelling at him. I'm not your man. I'm not your man. Don't talk to me like that. And then I believe you heard it as well, didn't you? Another time?
Yes. We had this long, drawn-out conversation about it. It was hilarious. I mean, the whole thing is a trip. The thing about it is that I felt that he had a problem with it, or he wanted us to have a problem with it. That's why he presented it that way.
I think that he probably dabbled in.
I believe he did too, but he wanted
some gayness, which is fine with me. I don't care.
But I think that he wanted us not to accept it, or he thought that we wouldn't accept it.
Listen, if he had shown up at the office and said, "Hey, I'm gay and I'm James," and I'd say, "Great,
yeah." I mean,
go to work and enjoy yourself.
I mean, because now I've never caught the guy's name, but we've never judged people because it didn't really matter. Now, you remember the guy that came in, he had shaved off his eyebrows and then drew in like flames?
No, they weren't flames.
I don't know what they were. They were
like numbers.
I don't know. I don't.
So that was a guy that someone else brought in, and as he was leaving, all I could think of was, I need to see T's face when he sees this guy. And the look you had.
Yeah, because it was very like, all right.
Now the funny part is, the funny part about it is, we work at multi-million-dollar houses.
Yes.
And this guy, I just don't see how he would have been welcome.
Yeah.
With his neck tattoos and his eyebrow tattoos.
But I think that he would have been fine on the ground crew because they don't often do, they do work at those locations, but they're often at they're not really residential so much as business.
Okay, well, nevertheless, I think he went to work for about a half a day, and then
I don't even think it was even a half a day. I think he worked for about an hour. Is what I remember. At the church, he came for an hour,
right?
And then he was gone.
So we had him. So I wouldn't consider him an employee. Then we had Bill,
Dollar Bill,
who introduced himself as Dollar Bill.
Dollar Bill.
He invented. Tell everybody what he invented.
So we're going down to I don't even remember the job. And we were just talking about random stuff. And we were listening to the song Lil Wayne, Make It Rain. And he's like, I invented that. I was like, you invented what? Rap music? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I invented making it rain. What?
Oh, didn't he come in? He came into some money He
He
had a
said,
settlement.
yeah, he said that his like
or he inherited,
his dad or somebody
and
passed
he blew
away.
it all at a strip.
Yeah, and he was throwing dollars in the air. I was like, but you do know that making it rain isn't throwing dollars in the air. It's throwing many dollars, like $100 bills into the air.
Dollar bill. He was the one
that used to get towed up by his wife and her father.
Right, but he had video. He held his phone taking a video
when he was getting his butt kicked,
pummeling him.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to him either.
I remember exactly what happened to him. I don't know if you were in the vehicle with us. I mean, it may have been me and someone else. But he was telling us about this girl that liked him, and she was in, the northern part of the state. So he was
Niagara Falls area?
Yes.
Okay.
So he was telling us about her, and then he was like, I'm thinking about, going up there and messing with her because I'm just kind of tired of my wife, beating on me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling him, dude, if she's beating the heck out of you right now, when she finds out that you did this,
she's going to kill you.
She's going to kill you. She slaughters pigs. This is her job. And so he's like, no, I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her. And
so did he just leave work? I don't remember.
Yeah, he just left. He left and he went up to upstate. And then, situation happened. He found out. And then he stopped coming to work. He started calling in saying, I can't come because this is
I honestly, a lot of these guys, like James, Captain James, and then motorcycle.
Oh, God.
So we had another guy.
Kurt Ass.
Kurt
Ass is what he calls himself.
Curtis.
Yes. But
okay, I got it.
Remember, there are two personalities in Curtis.
Oh.
There is Curtis and Kurt Ass.
Oh, was Kurt Ass the enforcer for the
Mongols? No, it was not the Mongols. The Vandals.
No, not the Vandals.
No, it was one of the big ones. It wasn't Mongols.
It's not, and it's not Hell's Angels.
The ones that were always fighting the Hell's Angels.
What's the other motorcycle gang?
That
Hell's Angels, Mongols.
They were always fighting the Hell's Angels.
Not the Mongols.
I know which one.
Whatever it was, he was about 5'4", weighed about 125 pounds.
I wouldn't even say that much.
And he was an enforcer.
Not even an enforcer. He was their top enforcer.
Ah, I didn't know this.
Now, he wasn't like, there are, I won't say that there aren't any really small enforcers because they do have,
I'm sure,
those types.
The Joe Pesci type.
Yes, that go in and get the muscle to do the muscle. But he wasn't the muscle that sent the muscle in. He was like the guy that they sent to go get the bat. Like, go get the bat and bring it back to me.
Well, he was also the one that he ended up bumping into a motorcycle and knocking a motorcycle over when he had no room.
Yeah. I was on the site for that one.
Yep. That was great. And then...
the thing that aggravated me the most about his situation, he didn't call the shop. He didn't let us know until after the fact. He called his mother.
Oh,
she was the first one to know.
He used to call his mother for everything.
Everything. He got into an argument with Josh. And he called his mom.
Okay, we're going to talk about one more, and then we're done with this.
No, there are too many of them.
I have to file a police report.
Oh, I saw that coming. Yes, you do.
You do?
He does.
For that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
That thing, it was like, if it's over $500, it's a felony.
That thing can't be.
Yes, it is.
That thing's a $50 thing, isn't it?
No, it's $175.
Is it really?
Yeah, it came with the race meet.
No, it didn't. It just happened to be next to the race.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's talk about one more, and then we'll go into a different subject.
All right. Well,
another welder.
Which one?
Pickle.
Well, I don't know much about Pickle, but I do know about that other welder that went down to and then decided to rob the shop of tools to support his stripper and drug issue.
Oh. Well, I never really thought of him as a welder, but you know what?
He was a welder, wasn't he?
He was actually a certified welder.
That's what I knew he was.
No. I wanted to talk about Pickle. So Pickle was a guy that it was a nickname that he called himself, and he used to every time he'd get flustered, he I can't even do it. Like he'd blow out and his lips would flap around.
It's not a raspberry, but
yeah,
it's something like it.
I can't even do it. So anyway, but here's a guy who I wanted him to weld something for me.
Mhm.
And I stopped him right before he started because I'm a measure twice, cut or
once.
weld once type of guy.
Yeah.
And I stop him, and he gets all flustered, and he does his little lip thing. And then he goes to start. I walk back into the office. I had an epiphany all of a sudden. I run back out there, and I stopped him again, and he starts screaming, "How am I supposed to get anything done? And you don't let me do my job." And I said, well,
You don't
make sure you're
love
doing
me.
it right. After I said, be respectful and don't talk to me like that. And he flipped out. I've never seen anything like it. And I'm paying him the whole time. So I'm going, what do you care? I said, fine. So finally I said, fine. You go and weld it. And when you're wrong, we'll stop your clock. And you
You'll
can fix
fix
it
it
on your time, not mine. So he ended up leaving because we were out at a job site, and he pulls out a specific tool, and Eric says to him, "Where did you get that?" And he said, "I took it from the shop." And Eric said, "Listen,
Mhm.
I have that tool in my truck. He's got the tool in the truck, but now somebody is back at the shop, and there
doesn't have
is
that
no
tool.
tool.
Yes.
Either ask or
Yeah.
just don't take
Don't take
anything
out
out of the shop."
Makes sense.
Because
I
we have
got
the duplicate tools in the truck. And he got all flustered, and he says, I'm leaving, you need to take me back to the office so I can get my stuff. And this was a Friday. And I said, well, I'm here working. I'm not leaving to open up the office for you. And you are more than welcome to come back at 4 o'clock and get your paycheck and get your stuff. And he goes and he gets on his phone, and he starts making a phone call where he's kind of alluding to the fact that he's sending somebody to deal with me. Like he's some connected guy.
He's a mafioso.
No, but this is the best part about it. So he's on the phone, and you hear a lot of, "That's right, yeah, no, here's the address." And he gives the address, and he says, "No, he's about 5'9", and he wears this hat, and he's wearing this, and you make sure you take care of him good." And I'm just looking at him kind of with my head cocked, and all of a sudden, while he's on the phone with the mob is coming down with a hit, while he's on the phone, all of a sudden his phone rings.
Oh,
so I found that to be amusing. That was pretty good.
That is so sad because that's such a fake, that's a fake tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't the smartest thing be just to,
get your stuff, walk away?
Yeah.
He once got into an argument with a shackle.
Yeah.
Started yelling at it. He was a crazy guy.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
So okay, we're done with. Let's stop talking about employees. I don't think that was overly exciting.
Hey, well, it depends on what you consider exciting, and there are plenty. I mean, we could talk about other crazy people because we got, Wampy. There's a list of insane.
I'll tell you what, Wampy is a pretty funny subject, so we should talk about Wampy.
Well, do you want to wait for Eric to come back, or?
Yeah, we can wait for Eric.
Okay, now I don't remember the other topic. I just don't. I mean, the biggest topic that I have going on in my life is the destruction of one of my neighbors. I mean, do you want to discuss that or no?
Not right now. Let's get to that after. We should talk about. Well, why don't we talk about Wampy? We don't need him.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a guy Wampy, which is a play on his last name. I don't even know what his last name is.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
but the guy he's a marine construction worker that he is gotta be 75 years old and is in great shape. I mean, the guy's a built guy.
Yeah, he is.
Works by himself, except the problem is he's practically naked.
He's a nudist.
And and he would actually tell you, he'd say, I was a nudist for 43 years, and okay, that's great, Wampy. But so the guy he worked for would basically, he'd go up to Mr. Smith, his client, and he'd say, I have options for you. What are the options? He says, I can give you Dock Crew A. They're very good, and there's 3 guys. He said, or I can give you
Dr. B.
Crew B.
One guy.
It's one guy, and he is the best.
Best.
And they'd say, "Well, get me the best. I want the one guy." He'd say, "Wait a minute. There's a
catch with
there's
that
a
one
caveat. He's going to be naked." What do you mean he's going to be naked? Well, Wampy walks around in a G-string, a banana hammock, if you will. And the funny part about this is he has, let's just say, I would have been a nudist if I was built like him, because he walks around with his G-string and the you don't want to look on purpose, but you can't help but not see it because it could block out the sun. It looks like a turban. That's what it looks. The front of his pants, it looks like a guy wearing a turban, except not on his head.
It's made of flesh,
and you can't not see it.
You can't.
And some of the funniest things you've seen where guys are working. And I just can't keep a straight face, and he's bending over to put nails in a board, and you're not looking at him, you're looking at the other guy next to him with the face.
I mean, the Josh story where
so yes, Josh is standing on the beach welding a steel wall, and this guy Wampy is on a ladder with his crotch at the same height as Josh's head, and it's just the funniest thing looking at this.
Oh, he had to been fighting. I mean, I was with Kurt Ass and a couple more workers, and they saw him, and they came running. They're like, "Oh my God, there's a naked guy down there!" I'm like, "What?"
That thing is a salami.
You just come and just throw that out there.
To it as it looks like he's wearing a turban down there.
So
one job. I need to. Can we finish this really quick? We're almost done.
Okay.
So anyway, back to Wampy for a second. So we're doing a job on out west where all the farmlands are, and this guy is I think he grows basil. Is that what he was? A basil farmer?
Huh?
He was a basil farmer, right?
Yeah.
So
out on 441.
Yeah. So the guy goes up to the boss, the contractor that we're working for, and he points over to Wampy and he says, "I want that guy wearing some clothing here." So Wampy ends up wearing.
What was Wampy doing out at the?
He was there doing the cap, maybe.
What cap?
He was doing something. It doesn't matter. Not the point.
Wasn't working for us.
No, he wasn't working for us. So the guy says, "I want him." So what does he do? He goes and puts on, 70s runner shorts or something like that, which were better than the banana hammock.
Yeah.
So he starts working. See him, and he keeps looking over, and the second the guy drives away, he twirls up the back of the shorts and he jacks it right up between his cheeks, and now he's got his G-string back on.
That's how you do it. So, I mean, I would love to get to the other story, but it doesn't seem like we have time.
I'll do it very quickly.
The truck story?
Yeah. So,
okay, we'll get to
so Larry says to me once, he says, "Have you seen Wampy lately?" And I said, "No, I haven't seen him." He says, "Well, you're working up here. You're going to see him. You're going to run into him." He says, "I want you to say to him, 'Hey, Wampy, nice truck.'" I said, "Okay." He says, "Just say it to him. He'll tell you the story. It's hilarious." I said, "Okay." So a week goes by, whatever. I see Wampy, and I remember I want to hear something funny. So I yell out, "Hey, Wampy, nice truck." And he's laughing hysterically. So I walk over, and I said, "Tell me about the truck." He says, "So I'm in the water." He said, "I finished my job. I come out, and I take my clothes off, as I always do, and I got a towel over my lap."
Yeah.
And he says, "And I'm eating." And this guy comes out, and he's a little effeminate, and he says, "Are you going to be parked here all day?" And he says, No, I'm leaving in a few minutes. I'm just going to eat a sandwich and drive away." And the guy says to me, "Hey, nice truck." So I said, "Oh yeah, she's been good to me. It's a good truck." What I didn't realize was my dick was sitting out of the towel, and this guy was a gay. He was a gay guy, and he was oogling at it. And instead of "nice truck," he says, "Hey, nice cock." But I was in the water all day. I got water in my ears. I didn't hear so well. So I have no idea. And I tell him, yeah, it's a good truck. It gets me from A to B. And the guy says, oh, I'll bet you that thing will get you from A to B to C. And he says, yeah. And then the guy says, wow, that's really, really a nice truck. And finally he realizes what he's talking about. And he's saying, hey, that's a really nice cock. And I didn't realize it until the guy says, I'd really like to do something with that. And then he realizes it and he says, oh, no, wrong guy. I'm not interested in that. So he puts the sandwich down and he drives away quickly. Yeah, that was a funny one.
That was great.
Okay, any other crazy employees you want to talk about?
This would probably be the shortest one we've ever had.
Okay, any other subjects really quick that you want
to
touch
What was the
on?
electric guy's name? Lonnie?
Yeah, but other than crack, there was nothing wrong with it.
Just throwing it out there. He loved the crack. He loved it. He loved his crack.
Oh, you want to hear a funny one, though? No, it's not funny, but he got run over once at the airport.
What?
I took them to him and his wife to the airport, and we're in the second, we're double parked, let's say. And in the lane that's closest to the curb, a guy hit the gas instead of the brake and came over and hit him and knocked him into the back of my truck, and then ran over my stepmother. And they're all bloodied and everything comes. And who is there but a former employee of his.
Really?
Kind of funny, yeah. Years and years later.
Not good.
So he knows me. He's like, yeah, we got to take care of this guy.
Yeah, well, he's a good employee. A lot of the employees, some of them, they leave on good terms. Most of them do not.
Oh, man, there are so many good ones, especially we talked about that one person that used to so discontent just because he could.
Oh, you're talking about Pincus?
I love that.
Great, isn't it?
That is the funniest.
No, the funniest all time was...
Was it the rock bands that you were like throwing it out to Josh?
No. The funniest all time. You didn't even know about this. I'm driving.
Oh, what I remember.
He is in the back seat, and the welder and that other welder that was here for a short time. What was his name?
I don't even remember. He was only here for a few weeks.
The one that one that you got the phone call about, how he left his baby and got a drug problem,
and he just had a newborn child.
Whatever. Anyway,
I get those all the time.
The two of them are talking welding stories.
Oh, it was so cool.
And Tavon is in the back seat texting me. And every time I got to a traffic light, I looked down at my phone. We were hysterical. We could not stop laughing. The welding stories. Did you weld that over there? Yeah, I welded it. Did you use the X95? No. That was a C49997 59er.
And then when you put the curvature in it, the gleam, I was like, oh my God, I hate this so much.
It was so funny. Tavon was going crazy.
And then we tried to change it to like steak, and neither one of them knew how to cook. So it was like they were throwing in something like, what?
I'm a pretty good cook.
Yes.
And the two of them,
it was just horrible.
Didn't know the first thing about cooking, and they're telling their recipes.
Yeah.
Their cooking stories.
And I was like, oh my God, we just need to get out of this vehicle. And we weren't even going that far. It was like probably 2 miles.
We were in Fort Lauderdale somewhere, I think.
We were going from...
we were definitely in Fort Lauderdale because we were on Dixie Highway. We passed Dixie Lamp and Scaffold.
We came from Los Olas.
Okay.
And we were going into Bayview.
Okay.
And I don't know why we were going to the big place over there that we go over there. Bordemeyer owns it. We go there all the time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Then we were going over there for something. I think it was to do backfilling or
Can
something.
we take care of this stuff?
Yes.
All right. So with that, we're going to end this.
We'll end it that there. We'll end it there. Well, this was
unless you want to talk briefly about what has just transpired in this place and the fact that the law does not protect us at all, and the law protects the bad people.
The bad person involved.
You want to talk about that briefly?
I mean, we know the answer, but
from what I understand, the same law that a renter of a house or an apartment house, does not does not have the same
No,
as
no, not at all.
commercial.
Nope, not at all.
No, I'm talking. Well, obviously, right now, residential people are not being
yeah,
able to
yeah.
be evicted.
Yeah, but this happened today would have been the 5th day, but it's not the 5th day.
Because of the
today is
holiday.
recognized as a holiday.
Yeah.
So Monday is the 5th.
I understand, but you're never discussed this, so no one knows what you're talking about. Basically, we own a piece of property where we rent out 4,000 square feet to a guy who basically stopped paying rent 4 months ago,
Maybe 5.
maybe 5 months ago, and always had a sob story and an excuse, and we basically gave him a lot of
swear I'm
latitude.
going to pay. I swear I'm going to pay.
Right, and so we finally
Served him
with papers
Mm-hmm.
to evict him,
Mm-hmm.
and he had
a lawsuit and eviction.
right, and he had 5 days to comply and or be thrown out.
Yeah.
And last night he went and took all of his
Items of value.
out of here in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And we really have no recourse, even though we have lien rights on
All the items.
these vehicles,
Yes. It
You don't
really
have them until the judge says.
says you do, yeah.
which is 20 days. So the fact of the matter is, he is protected. And not only that, but when he was served, our lawyer found out that he had
Done it before.
2 others.
Of course.
So this is a
Well,
habitual.
the other thing.
Well, so why don't we talk about that another
You want to
time?
talk about it?
Yeah, wrap
All
this
right. We'll wrap this up. All right. All right. See you guys next time.